Welcome to the Around the Bases Pop Culture and Sports Podcast. It's our premiere episode, and here are your hosts,
Charlie Seymour.
and Tim Sternberg. Welcome. Hey, buddy, what's going
Hey,
on?
not too much. How are you
We're
doing? Good to
here.
see
It's your
you.
premiere episode, dude. Good to
And
see
how,
you.
how fitting we're filming it after an episode of our TV show aired.
Of We Are Family. That's right. And we're going to go into how we met a little bit and, how the origin story of our podcast, if you may, in a minute. Good to see you, dude.
It's great to see you. It's great to see you.
So for those in the audience that don't know a little bit about you, let's be a little game showy and tell them about yourself, Charlie.
My name's Charlie. I'm from the Chicago area, born and raised northwest suburbs, lived in the city for about the last 15 years, and we just moved, bought a house in the last few months, went on a game show in the last few months. It's been an exciting last 6 months or so.
You went on a
Please,
game show? I had no idea.
please tell a little bit about yourself, Tim.
Okay, I will. Hi, I'm Tim. You may know me better as the guy who does this on a game show. Yes, I bounce. I'm the bouncy guy. I'm Tim Sternberg. I am in Plantation, Florida. I've been on a game show or two. I
Or three
am
or
an education,
four.
maybe. I'm an education advocate. I advocate for kids with special needs, and I love pop culture, all things pop culture, and so awesome that I have met you, Charlie. I don't ever think in my life I became friends with somebody as quickly as we did. It's like I've known you for 10 years, which
Honestly,
is
I, f-
pretty
I feel
awesome.
the same way.
But yeah, we're
Trauma
here
bonding,
we are.
right?
It's 100%. That is 100%. And anybody who knows about this experience knows it's 100% trauma bonding. And shout out to our True Crew castmates who absolutely know what that's about. Anyway, it is so nice to be here with you, buddy. And there's a lot of things that you and I have in common. A couple things. We love pop culture entertainment, big baseball fans. You with the
Chicago Cubs, of course.
and me with the New York Mets. The Metropolitans, the team that every offseason continuously disappoints me time and time again. And I don't know why. And I'm like, my hopes are up. And, we sign these major pitchers that are 40 something years old and end up crashing. I can't understand why. And we get our hopes up every season. But you know what? I'm still hopeful. No, we didn't get Yamamoto. No, we didn't get Otani, but we have one of the richest owners in baseball. So I'm a little confident. Although not you, but your team stole counsel from me. Then I'm a little upset about that. We've
Well,
talked about
we
it. Well,
actually stole them from Nicholas, our good pal Nicholas's Brewers, but I get what you mean. You were also interested in him.
very, very interested. And quite frankly, don't know much about the manager that we did get from the Yankees, which is a team I do not like. Sorry for those Yankees fans out there. If you're watching, why? No, I'm sorry. We like all people to watch, but just like those great St. Louis Cardinals. Anyway, okay. All right, buddy.
That's okay. You got to name the rival.
Well, come on. I mean, listen, you can tease me with where we were for 3 weeks. I mean, that's okay. I mean, yes,
Absolutely,
I was in
absolutely.
Atlanta, and I'm not a Braves fan at all. Again, thank you for watching, but
We got to go to a couple Braves games.
we did, and honestly, fireworks. Oh, okay. Yes, we we, we
Never
had a
gonna live
great
that one
time.
down.
We got, dude. Listen,
I,
come on. You have a
ju-
gif of me now.
I
That's
just
like
wish you would
think
have
of
worn the
Rafa,
Argyle sweater on our first episode.
and you should have worn that yellow and
Maybe we'll do that for
blue.
the next one.
We'll do it for the finale. Yeah.
There
So
you go.
let's talk. We are family, buddy. So
Yeah,
you and
let's
I
do it.
met filming this game show, this awesome game show. Tell me about your experience. How did you feel about it? And I'll share kind of mine and our joint experience.
I honestly had the overall, I had the time of my life. It was so fun. Personally, I've never done anything like this before. Game shows. I know out of the two of us, you're the resident game show expert as you've been on more than a couple. But for me, I've gone to some tapings of some things. Like I waited in line a couple mornings when Conan did live in Chicago, which was great. But it's not the same actually participating in it. So that, I mean, all the behind the scenes things and
Which
everything.
we can't talk about really, but
Right, we can't. But just
yeah,
seeing what I mean is just seeing like how TV gets made, things like that. Like that was all other. I mean, I've seen the talk shows, but this was different. This was
it
different.
was
So
awe-inspiring, right? It
it
was
really was, and there were just so many great people we got to meet and know. That's my number one takeaway from the experience, honestly.
me
It's
too.
the people. So I
Yeah.
loved it. What about you? How did you feel?
It's been 17 years since I've been on a game show. The
Which
last
was
game
what?
show I was on was called One versus 100. It was
One
on
versus 100.
NBC with Bob Saget. It was ironically with 100 contestants in the audience. And that was a brief appearance. I didn't win any money, and
How
about
did
five
that game
months
work?
so you had one person, and it was that person was the contestant, and they were up against a mob, and the mob was 100 people of varying abilities, backgrounds, etc. Kind of like We Are Family.
Okay.
But a major difference on We Are Family, we are on throughout the season. On One versus 100, you're on as long as you get questions right. Once you get a question right, it's wrong. It's
I
a
see.
bye bye. So
So you keep
I went
getting asked
bye bye real
questions
quick.
and you stay
Yes.
as long as you get them right while in the audience.
Right. And
Got it.
so the 100 people are competing against the one person, and the one person's object, who's next to Bob Saget, rest in peace, Bob. That one person is their object is to beat the 100, and if they could beat every single person in the mob, they win money, whatever's in their bank. Now the mob's object is to be there and beat the person who's there, and the last person standing or whoever gets the most points becomes the next person or something like that. I believe
I
something
see.
similar to that. I
Okay.
don't remember it 17 years ago, but
Yeah.
I'm right
We
before
got
that
the
was on
gist.
Wheel of Fortune. I mean, back then, I guess you could be on more than one game show in a year. But but yeah, uh, that was the experience. But as far as my experience, in Atlanta, I had the time of my life. I met so many amazing people during the trip, and then a lot more people after the trip. We had a very close-knit group over at the True Hotel. I love every single one of our group there. And we just, like you said earlier, trauma bonding. And just in all seriousness, one of the most emotionally memorable experiences of my life, if I could say that. And listen, we got to meet Rosie. Rosie, your wife, came down, and we got to meet
She did. She got
Chelsea's husband, and we got to see spouses. It was really nice.
That was very nice.
What
That
were you
was
gonna
very
say?
nice. She still gets excited when she sees people on the screen that she got to
That's
meet in person.
awesome.
So
That's awesome. Yeah, and so I mean, it was just it was an experience that I will absolutely never forget. And like you mentioned, a couple of times I've done this before, but nothing ever like this experience. And here we are. And we can say this episodes. The second episode just aired, so as we're taping this, and you know it's so cool to see us on TV. And it's
I
like
know it's
throughout the whole
crazy.
season. You know, I just
It's yeah,
saw
it still hasn't really like
you
fully
were
sunk
getting your
in.
groove on after episode two, during episode two.
It's true. It's true. And
And I was
and
like, I would look like
they
this or
showed a
something.
reaction shot in the credits for episode 3. So I'm curious as to what that could be
Yes.
for.
Oh, yes, I wonder.
Teaser.
But yeah, teaser. But yeah, I think they showed me looking like this. What's that? But yeah, you know what? Who could complain about getting TV time, right? I mean, it's pretty
Exactly.
cool. Yeah.
It's still yeah, it's still pretty surreal and it looks great on TV, honestly.
It really does. They did a great job. Production is amazing. And to that point, I do want to say that every single person that was involved with the production of the show was absolutely wonderful. The
Oh,
casting folks, just wonderful people, production, everyone
behind the
that we met.
scenes.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
so many
Remo,
nice
the
people.
the warm-up guy, just everybody was just awesome. Yeah,
Oh
really
man,
awesome.
we could sit here and name people individually for
We
minutes.
could. Yeah, and then we wouldn't have a podcast left, but because we'd be hours and hours. But yeah, awesome people, really, truly.
Really,
And
they
if
really
you're
were.
if you happen to be watching, first of all, thank you for watching, and second of all, thank you for being you and for the great experience that we had.
Yeah, it was. It was great.
And I don't
It
get extra for that. We don't get extra, right?
exactly. And I would also love, if you don't mind, to maybe hit on the other two game shows that you've been on before, because those I
Oh,
think people might know a little better.
Who wants to be a millionaire? With
Pretty
Reed,
big show.
Pretty big show with Regis, rest in peace, Philbin, who's buried actually at Notre Dame, which is interesting because he was a big Fighting Irish fan. I'm sure you knew that. And Wheel of Fortune with Pat Sajak, Vanna White, and Pat is retiring after the season, and Ryan Seacrest is taking over the wheel. So yeah, kind of cool,
Pretty
iconic,
cool.
pretty cool, iconic shows, I must say. Yes.
And
Probably the
and you didn't do
coolest
too
was
shabby on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
no, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I won $16,000 and not bad at all. Help pay for school. Wheel of Fortune, Linda. Great play, Linda. Linda really kicked my butt. But it was, it's
That was
one of
also
those
an
things I
unlucky
could have,
wheel.
I'm so
Unlucky
very
wheel. There were a lot
very
of
unlucky.
spoiler alert if you're gonna go back and watch it.
Go back to 17-year-old
Go
episode of
back,
Wheel of
go
Fortune.
back 17 years ago. But man, there were a lot of lose a turn and zeros, and that was a tough wheel round.
I had a $10,000. I got the mystery wedge
You
in
had
the
yeah,
Lose a Turn.
yeah.
The agony, remember the old ABC Sports, the agony of defeat. That was the agony of defeat. But you know what? I was on freaking Wheel of Fortune.
I know, it's so cool.
What the freak, I'm
My
standing there
my
spinning the wheel,
my
Everyone,
my 100-plus-year-old grandmother, that's her favorite
I was
show.
just gonna say that. Every
And
grandmother.
when we got back from our trip, one of the first things I did when I saw her was I played her your clip of Wheel of
That's
Fortune.
amazing. That's amazing. That makes my heart smile. I love that. I love that. Every grandmother and grandfather in the country, like if you go into a nursing home at 7:30, depending on where you are in the country, I guarantee you will see Wheel of Fortune on TV.
Absolutely.
And Jeopardy too, which yeah. So
To be continued.
This is a thematic episode. So let's venture off to another game show on our network on Fox. Let's talk a little bit about The Floor. The Floor airs on Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern and Pacific and 8 o'clock Central and Mountain on Fox, hosted by the great, literally, Blow from Parks and Rec. Literally. And I am entertained. I enjoy the show. I will say.
Fun.
There's no competition because I follow quite a few of the contestants from the show, and they follow me back on Instagram, and we have had really pleasant, wonderful conversations. And I'm a little jelly because I would like to play that game too. So, Casting Collective, if you're hearing, I have an idea. Let's flip the cast of The Floor and We Are Family next season. So, season two, the cast of We Are Family plays The Floor, and the cast of The Floor plays We Are Family. There, I just handled your casting. There you go. I'm brilliant.
That would be so fun.
The Floor cast.
I'd sign up.
Let's petition, right?
Right. And then if that doesn't work out, maybe just bring us back for season 2. That works too.
Hey, I'm good with that too. I'm ready to go. If you need a guy that's goofy, that's gonna dance, that's me. I'll give you that. But yeah, The Floor. Wow, what a great game show.
It's fun.
Let's talk about that. There were 81 contestants on The Floor, and they all have their own categories that they get on the show.
They're in a 9x9 grid.
Ooh, Mr. Mathematician. Yes. 9x9 grid. And some of those categories are quite frightening to me. I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah, there's some frightening categories.
Birds?
There's some super fun categories.
What? Birds? Like, I don't know. The guy tonight, and we could talk about their episode tonight that aired as
it was their fourth episode.
Their fourth episode. One of the categories the guy inherited was Simpson guests?
No, celebrities on The Simpsons. Oh my goodness. I jumped when I saw that. I would kill that category. Oh man.
Let's talk about another.
I cannot wait for that one.
How ridiculously awesome was that junk drawer category? Like what?
That was an impressive back and forth battle between the two.
Good.
That had to be the single most correct answers in any single duel, I would think, so far, right?
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, that one went, the first 10 each, they were still at 37, 36 seconds each. It was bam, 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 bam.
I wonder how many pictures production has loaded up in there, because you don't know how long it's. I guess they have an idea of how many,
yeah.
But it is if
I'd say bare minimum 90, 1 a second.
Right.
45 seconds each.
That was a great category. And, shout out to Will who is an awesome guy. Apparently, Will is the Tim of the floor, basically, or I am the Will of We Are Family, because Will does all their social media stuff. Like he is doing graphics for them. He did a card for each one. And shout out to our Jason, who is handling the WAF 100 account. Jason, you rock. Jason's handling all that social media stuff for the We Are Family. But Will is doing like all these things for the Floorcast, and he is highly loved, and I can see why. Went to school with our own Lily. Did you know that from We Are Family?
I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah. And so he's a good dude. We've talked, and he had a rough night tonight, I will say. Shuttlecocks did him in. Good old badminton.
Yeah.
Will's category was sports equipment, and well, I just watched an Instagram live of him, and apparently what it was when he passed on that, his mind thought, okay, pass means I'm done. So he didn't realize it didn't catch on to him that, oh, pass, but I have to answer the next one. So he lost a little bit of time there. So because the nerves do get you, being on a game show, as definitely. You and I both know, the nerves do get you a little bit.
I remember the very first time I got to play on ours.
Palms.
I was nervous and sweaty, and it was a disaster. I couldn't even type in the iPad. by the last 3 seconds, I typed in a name that didn't exist.
I'm on TV. Right.
But then luckily I was able. It's funny is you can actually see it if you look carefully enough in the episodes. Oh, really? You know where I'm in the top left. So if you're watching on TV, look at the top left. Next to Al and Sarah. Great A top block A. But you can see I look like an NFL quarterback. You can kind of see me lean over a little bit, and I reach behind. Like I have a little towel there just to dry off my fingers to make sure I could type properly.
Interesting.
It made a difference.
Say that.
Made a difference.
Luis is working on something. You might have seen it on my wallpaper. He's working on these wallpapers with different heads. So Luis tonight asked me for a picture of you. And I'm looking through your pictures, and there's one picture, literally, pretend this is your iPad. You're like this, like in the iPad. I was like, oh my God. I think that really noticed that.
I think that was one where I was entering in my things super quick, like the second I could.
But anyway, back to the floor. So Will had a really rough go, and what I'm understanding it happens is when you're eliminated from the floor, which taped in Dublin, Ireland. So shout out, that's an amazing place.
That's
to
pretty
tape a
cool.
Game show.
Yeah,
we taped in an amazing place too in Atlanta, Georgia, but they taped in Dublin, Ireland, and apparently when you're eliminated, you go home the next day. You are, as Will said, deported back to the United States.
That's a funny way to put it.
It was emotional. Will was a very emotional guy, and he got close to the cast as we did.
Yeah.
And so, I felt for him, and he's a really good guy who does a lot of stuff. So shout out to Will. And Stephanie ended up getting a gift of being able to split that winning prize. So now she's up to $30,000 already.
Actually that came up in conversation while we were watching.
Yeah.
I actually thought that was the smart strategy that he took.
I agree.
He could have gone for the extra 10,000, but why not go for your bread and butter
100%
and win? Get the win, which he did. Now he's tied for the most pieces again
into the next episode.
And now
he has the decision.
It's his call. He's got 10,000 in the pocket. He's got house money now. I actually thought that was a very sound strategy. That's how I would have played it myself, assuming that your strongest categories were a one piece, which is what he did. There were a couple he could have chosen to go for the 20, but one, you're going against someone who it's their own category. Two, you also then need to, it's a lot of pressure. So
yeah, I think it's a solid strategy. And honestly, what I would do going into the next episode is I would probably, if I felt there was a category that I'm good at, I would probably challenge that person and get the lead. And then once I got that, I would be like, okay, I'm done, and go back to the floor and then let it ride and see how it works out.
As I believe, and you can correct me, you might know this better, but as I believe it to be how they filmed, as soon as the night ended, they ended for the day. So then they could then go home and continue to study.
They filmed two a day.
So I guess it depends on which one. So today would be number 4. So now they would be going home. So he can now study his new inherited category.
Correct.
So that makes a big difference, I think.
And shout out to the person who he split with, Stephanie. I am friendly with Stephanie also on Instagram. She's doing rather well. I'm very impressed. And I love her.
That was
Her
I love that
her
she thanked
presence
him for
is
the
amazing.
honeymoon.
And her
That was so
presence,
nice.
she has such a great presence on that floor. Like
Yeah.
she really is command. I love it.
It's
I
a
love
lot of
I
fun.
love it.
I love watching it.
Yeah, it's good. I look forward to next week's episode. It should be good. Well, every episode's been good, but now you're starting to see an amalgamation of floor spaces being taken up. So now it's going to get really good.
Yeah.
Because
There's gonna be
when
a
you
lot of
have
choices.
so much, Jasper's kind of hanging out there right now, going, when is someone going to challenge me? And so it might be his time again. And I don't know. I'm a very competitive guy, I will say, but once I got 20 grand, I think my confidence will actually rise because now I'm not so pressured to win money. So now
Absolutely.
I'm gonna push
You already
for
got
it.
some house money.
Right, exactly. And so if you don't, my understanding is if you don't win anything, you don't go home with money. You just go home. So
Right.
I mean, to have that money is a good thing. And shout out, kudos to the cast of the floor. We're going to be reviewing that in every week's episode to kind of go through, and I think it'll be fun. So yeah, every week we're gonna review the floor, Charlie. I cannot wait to talk about it more. Shout out to the floor contestants, great job, and we look forward to watching you again next week.
Welcome back to the show.
Hi, welcome back.
Hey, how you doing?
So, how you doing, Charlie? Yo, how you doing? All right, so Charlie, we did a test run about a month ago before Christmas, and one of my favorite parts, well, basically it was the whole test run, right? Is unboxing, and I think this is going to be a fun segment here on our Around the Bases podcast, and we have another unboxing with Charlie, and so Charlie. Hopefully, I don't struggle as much this time. I'm
I don't.
afraid. I'm always afraid with this segment.
You're right. I hear you, but I'm optimistic that you won't. I'm hope because while we were out of town, a bunch of boxes came in, and they're all orders from earlier in the season, and a strong majority of those were baseball related. I don't know for sure
Ooh.
because remember I said I wanted to keep this random for all of us, so I don't actually
Yes.
know which one this is, but I think the odds are in our favor that it's baseball. So we shall find out in a second here.
Don't cut yourself and don't let us call a medic again. And the
Yes,
contestant would have to.
yes, no medics hopefully needed
And no
in the
showing the
filming of this
address.
podcast. No showing the address. I'm still learning. Leave it to my wonderful co-host Tim to be teaching me the ways of electronics.
Yes.
Okay.
Just call me Mr. Miyagi.
Okay. This is a good one. This is a good one. And it is confirmed. It is baseball.
Yeah, I could tell by the big smile on your face.
Okay. So we have a baseball one here tonight.
Okay.
And I don't want to make the clues too easy at first because you could get it right away if I gave an easy clue. So we're going to start with a very, very young player.
Okay. Oh, God.
First few seasons in the league.
I'm already
maybe
afraid.
Even you're already freaked. Okay, then maybe we'll make it a little easier. We've got it. I'll give you right away that it's an offensive player.
Okay, that does
and
help.
This player in his first season may have just won some pretty big hardware.
Did he just finish his first season?
He did.
Okay.
And I don't know how well your brain and memory works like mine, but he was one of my keepers on multiple teams, and I may have mentioned this player many times in our time together.
It's not Elly De La Cruz.
It is not Elly De La Cruz. That is a great guess. It is a young rookie infielder.
That's who it was last year.
You're right. It is a young last one we did. Yeah. It is a young rookie infielder though. So that was a great first guess.
Is it an Oriole?
I think it might be. That is another fantastic guess. So now you've got to narrow down to just a couple people here.
Ooh.
Wow, I'm impressed how quickly you got to within a couple players. He has a very cool name. Or at least I think so. It's not Adley. Okay. It's his other teammate who
Gunner.
It is. That is
I got it
correct.
quick this
You
time.
got it
Woo!
very quickly.
Gunnar
This is
Henderson.
Gunnar Henderson.
That's
And
amazing.
if you see the date behind there, I don't know if you can really see that, but this particular one is actually his first career Grand Slam
Oh, that's a
that
beautiful
landed on
bubble.
Utah Street, which is the famous street outside of Camden
Of
Yards.
course, I love Camden. We've talked how much I love Camden Yards. Oh my goodness gracious.
So yeah,
that's
pretty
nice. Let me
pretty
see
cool
that
one.
again. Wait, turn
It's
around.
jersey number in the back.
Oh, I love that. I
Let's
love that. That's a
No,
nice
well,
bobble.
sometimes I don't know for sure. Sometimes they involve needing to be screwed together. So if it's not one of those,
That's like
it's
my brain
easy to see.
My brain
Let's
needs that
see how
just,
it looks. It's outside the box.
just for the audience. It's a 11:45 midnight and Eastern time. So yes, that's
Okay. This looks very cool. There is him. It's hard
oh,
to.
I
I
love
don't know if you
that.
could see it.
I could see it.
There's him. It's
Audience,
very
hopefully.
detail oriented, even with his batting gloves,
Love
his
that.
sleeve guard, and then this is one of the ones that screws in. So here's the base of it. Look how detailed this is. It's hard to
That's
see, but
so freaking
it's
incredible.
see the wall there? That's the warehouse on Utah Street
Yeah,
that
of
people hit the
course.
home runs off of.
That. I love that. It's freaking iconic. So, of course, the warehouse in Utah Street, most iconic with, Cal Ripken Jr.'s record, of course. When he hit the most games, he broke Lou Gehrig's record. Yeah, all the shots,
2,130.
yeah, that's correct. And all the shots of Cal Ripken Jr. and Charlie knows, and Rosie, shout out to Charlie's wife, is a huge Cal Ripken Jr. fan, as well as I am.
That's why she always wore the number 8.
Yeah.
She played softball in college and wore number 8.
I love Ripken too. But yeah, it's just it's iconic. If you are a baseball fan, I'm saying this, you need to go to Camden Yards once in your life at least. Also Wrigley Field, which I am going to be going to in June. But you need to go to these iconic ballparks, even in Boston. I've been to Yankee Stadium. Don't ask. I've been to Yankee Stadium, I've been to Dodger Stadium. You need to go to these iconic ballparks while they're still with us, for sure.
I have been personally to 25 of the 30 stadiums. I'm just missing 5. We actually just hit Baltimore last summer, the summer before. It was awesome.
Nice.
We got pictures in front of the Ripken statue.
That's
saw a great
amazing. I
game.
love it.
Did you go to the it's a great
aquarium?
park. We did not go to the aquarium actually. We were there for a night, went to the game pretty much, and then we went to go see some more family. But it was fantastic. It was one of my favorite stadiums, honestly. It's beautiful.
Yeah, me too.
Beautiful
You know
park.
what it is, Charlie? It's like pure baseball, if that makes any sense. It's like when you're in that park, you're in a baseball stadium. It's like it just has that feel, that summer baseball feel. I can't explain it. I'm sort of similar to the way Wrigley feels in the summertime, but
yeah, it's sometimes I take it for granted, but I know I'll be a little biased.
You have
too,
the ivy, and you have
so beautiful.
park.
You get the lake in the background when you're sitting up top, and
yeah, V and Happ in the outfield. Yeah,
I can't wait for you to.
Not a bad time to be a Cub fan.
Not a bad time. And you're gonna come see the Nye Mets are my favorite squadron. Come play. That's a Simpsons reference for my friends out there.
I know what it means. The New York Mets, the Metropolitans, who continuously. Oh, I already said that. Okay. Anyway. Oh man. Okay. All right. Anyway, that is an unboxing. Do we have another or no?
I have a second if you want to do a second.
Yeah, let's do another one.
You want to do another one? All right, let's do another one.
See, we're killing, folks. We're killing 2 birds at one stone here. We are showing you these wonderful unboxings, but also clearing out Charlie's living room of boxes and boxes and boxes from his trip to California.
That's true. I did come home to quite a few boxes.
Charlie shared with me a wall of. Anyway, no, not really. It's not his.
Allegedly.
No. Right. Allegedly. We want him to stay married.
Okay, we got this one open here. All right, let's see. Hopefully, for your sake, it's another baseball one, because you prefer them to be baseball.
I do.
And let's see.
For the audience, I'm not a big football fan.
You didn't see any of that, correct?
I did not.
Beautiful. Okay, we have ourselves a baseball one.
Yay.
This one, I think, is going to be an easier guess for you if I explain it.
That tells me it's a veteran.
Interesting that you say that. This is a dual bobblehead.
Oh, I love those.
Which contains
Love
a
those.
veteran and a newcomer.
Okay.
Okay. That's the first part. Now, oh man, one of these clues is going to be so obvious. I don't even think I can give it first.
You know,
Okay.
fun part of this unboxing is you figuring out the clues.
Right? Okay.
All right.
These players both have accomplished a ton. One of them is already retired. One of them is still very young into his career. That's thus the then and now. Okay. This particular bobblehead happens to be two players that each won the home run derby. Okay. So that's your first hint.
Okay. I suddenly got excited. You know why? Okay.
Okay. Now, where you're immediately thinking he's going to be eliminated on a possible future clue. So don't go with him as a guess. For the record, folks, he's thinking about his favorite player on the Mets, Pete Alonso. For his sake, I hope he stays in the Mets. But if for some reason he happens to leave, Chicago would welcome with open arms. He said he loves Chicago. I just said if. I said if.
You're really going to do this on the first episode?
I said if. I said if. I prefaced it with, I prefer that he stay with you. He's your favorite player, and I respect that. Now, this player, the younger one, has competed in more than one home run derby with Pete.
I already have a feeling I know who it is.
Okay.
Let me throw a guess out there.
Please do.
Is the team happen to be the Seattle Mariners?
Actually, neither player has played for the Mariners.
Okay,
Who were you thinking, Griffey?
I was thinking
or
I was thinking for the young player Julio, and I was thinking either Ichiro or Griffey.
Okay, that's a great. Okay,
that would be a cool bobblehead.
You're immediately in the right ballpark because you took a young, recent home run derby
outfielder.
This player is not neither. The older player played outfield. The younger player plays infield. How about that?
Oh God.
See, there's an easy clue that will give it away. We'll work their way. But both of them
are not yet.
But I will say for the strong majority, both of them are American League players.
Oh,
I'd say
National League.
I know you are, but these guys are, I'd say, relatively iconic.
Let me think. Iconic American leaguers. Okay.
I have another good clue that will give it away.
Better not be a Yankee bobblehead.
It's not a Yankee. That's another clue. But these players may have played in the same division at some point, or current, possibly. I don't know.
Okay. Did these players ever cross paths?
Not in the way you mean the question, but in another way, yes. Absolutely.
Oh, so one was a manager of the other.
Maybe they knew each other even better than that. Maybe they knew each other.
Maybe they're related.
Maybe
they're grandfather and grandson. No.
Maybe even closer related.
Maybe father and son.
Ooh, father and son, you say? Ooh. Both home run derby champ, you say? Recent young AL home run derby champ, you say? Played in the same division as the Yankees, you say?
So
perhaps maybe my brother's favorite player of all time in baseball, if you remember that.
I don't. I'm sorry to your brother. So
father, son.
Red Sox?
No.
Okay, not the Red Sox.
Okay. You've got the teams narrowed down so much. I can give a fun clue that involves We Are Family.
Red Sox.
How about this? We Are Family clue. You ready for a We Are Family clue?
I'm ready for a We Are Family clue.
One of our fellow contestants happens to be brothers with a teammate of this player.
Brothers of a teammate?
Yeah. Her brother.
How did I not know this?
Her brother plays on this team.
Oh, I do know this. Madeline.
Yes.
So
her brother.
The
Her
Blue
brother,
Jay.
it is her brother. Shout out to Davis Schneider, who helped me win one of my fantasy championships this year.
And shout out to Madeline.
And shout out to Madeline, who I absolutely freaked out when I found out that she was Davis Schneider's sister. I'm not gonna lie, I almost gasped louder. That might have been one of
and
my
then you
coolest
told me, and I'm like,
reveals.
what?
So how about this? They may share a part of the diamond for a lot of the games.
I know who it is. You don't have to tell me. It's Vladdy Jr. and Vladdy Sr.
Vladdy Jr. and Vladdy
As soon as you said as soon as I got Blue Jays, I knew who it was. That's amazing.
Isn't that one so cool?
That's so freaking awesome.
It's got the Blue Jays logo, the Angels logo.
I love it.
He won it with the Angels.
The Guerreros. Yes, I love it.
So you were right there again, quickly in the ballpark of it.
As soon as we got Blue Jays, I was like, okay, it has to be Vladdy. I love Vladdy.
Related.
Vladdy's a fellow rookie with, of course, Pete Alonso was a fellow rookie, came out same year, 2019. It was Vladdy, it was Pete, and it was Eloy Jimenez was a rookie that year. And the other big rookie, of course, in 2019 was
Tatis.
Fernando Tatis Jr., who is currently...
Oh, that's a huge rookie of the year class. I cheated and had to look it up by the year.
Yeah,
but
but 18 is a big one too.
Bo Bichette, Brian Reynolds, Yordan Alvarez.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course one of my all-time current favorite players. Shout out to my guy Brandon Lau.
Brendan Lau, yes. And the 18 class too is pretty big. You got Juan Soto and you got Ohtani and Acuna. Huge year too. So yeah, 18 and 19 are huge rookie years.
Yeah,
definitely. So yeah, that was a great unboxing, Charlie. Thank you so much for that, folks. We are going to be right back in a moment. Stay tuned. All right, so that is our premiere episode, a wrap of the first show. Charlie, what do you think? Kudos, good.
Yeah, I thought it was great. For our first time doing this, we moved it along. We had the flow, nice little 643 DP.
Yeah, ooh, and we're kind of building a plane in the air, right? We're just constructing it. We're about at the wing portion right now, as you say, but. Thank you all for listening to our premiere episode. I hope that you come back for the next episode. I hope that we've enthralled you enough to want you for you to want to listen to our amazing voices. Wrapping up, I'm Tim Sternberg with my good buddy
Charlie Seymour,
and we will be back next time for another awesome episode of Around the Bases Pop Culture and Sports Podcast. Till next time, see you.